what's up, you guys? It's Six. Welcome back to my channel, and this is gonna be a weird one. This is gonna be a very weird one for this channel. I don't usually make angry, ranting sort of videos. I usually like to keep things pretty lighthearted. I do lots of challenges. I just talk about my art process and my feelings surrounding my work and creating. But every once in a while, I will see something or experience something that makes me very, very angry. For example, I think I did a video several years ago now where I saw a comic that was a guy basically saying that because a woman is a woman, if she stands next to her painting, she'll automatically get more views and attention on her work because she's a woman. And then that means that he, as a man who clearly has more talent because he's a man, will get more content, or will get less views on his content, will get less acknowledgement and stuff. And that made me so mad. It made me so mad. It was such a dumb thing that I made a whole video talking about it. But judging by the fact that was several years ago, you can see I don't make this kind of content often. But I have been experiencing this for a while now. And I wanted to share my experience with it because I know that this is a popular thing. I know that I have recommended this software that I'm about to talk about in this video several times over because it genuinely is a good program, but I'm fed up. I'm fed up with some of the practices that they have. I'm very, very irritated. So I figured I should make a video, one, to let people know that I don't use this anymore, and two, to let people know that, one, there's a free alternative, and two, they suck. Both as just as a company in general, they suck. And I don't want people to fall under the trap because this company used to do sponsorships all the time. And I know that because it was what drew me to this program, knowing how many YouTubers and stuff were talking about it. So anyways, getting into what I am talking about, it is an editing software called Wondershare Filmora. This might sound familiar to you, yes. Okay, so when I initially started out my channel, I started out with this free-to-use program called VSDC Video Editor. It was very bare bones, but it got what I needed done at the time, but eventually I just started noticing how kind of slow it was for me, and how the type of content that I wanted to make wasn't really matching up with what I could do in the program. And that is when I began looking for alternatives to this program, and Wondershare Filmora stuck out in my mind because I'd seen so many YouTubers talking about this is what they used to edit, seeing them do sponsorships, watching videos and seeing what the program could do, and I'm like, this is what I need. It had an amazing UI. It was beautiful. It looked very easy to use and easy to transition into getting used to from my current editing program. So I bought it. Notice bought. I went from a free-to-use program to purchasing a perpetual license. This is a specific word that I'm using, a perpetual license. If you don't know what a perpetual license is, that means you pay to use it perpetually. Perpetually means forever, right? It means forever. That means you get it permanently. A single payment for forever use. Right? That is not what this program is, and I will get into that. So my first initial payment was $79.99. That's $80, which doesn't seem like a lot of money for a program that I will get to use forever. It's a one-time purchase. It's very expensive for me as a freelancer, as an illustrator. $80 is a lot of money. We be broke out here, right? It's the starving artist thing. $80 is a lot, but I figured it will pay for itself over time, both with my YouTube videos and commissions and all of that. $80, okay, it's an investment into my business. So it was fine for about a year. And I started back when Filmora was Filmora 9, and this is relevant because when Filmora 10 came around, they were like, oh, look at all of these new things we introduced, all of these new tools that will be super helpful and super useful to you as an editor, blah, blah, blah. $30. Added on top to upgrade to 10. And now initially when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, it's only $30 and it's going to add some useful tools and that'll be really helpful. Okay, I'll pay another $30. not really realizing, like, hey, you're paying for an upgrade on your program that you have perpetual licensing on. That's weird. But I didn't think of it at the time. I just was like, oh, new tools. Okay, I'm paying for the new tools. Fine. And I think that's what they're banking on, is that every single time they do an update, you'll go, okay, new tools, that'll be helpful. Okay, awesome, I'll upgrade another $30 on top of my program that I paid $80. So I've now paid $110 for this program, right? So time goes on. I'm not really using these new features. They aren't really adding anything sort of helpful at all. Maybe to somebody who like has more editing experience, they're doing something, I don't know. But for me, I wasn't really using them. I was using them for the same thing that I was using VSDC for. It just was a little bit faster, and it had a few more things that VSDC didn't have, like filters and stuff, but they had those on 9. But again, at the time, I'm not really registering this, right? I'm just like, okay, I pay for an upgrade. And then Filmora 11 comes around. And that's when I start to go, hey, wait, what is happening? They want me to pay another $30 to upgrade to 11. Okay, frustrating. But I guess I will take a commission and I will pay to upgrade. Again, that's weird. And by that time, I was kind of the belief that, like, if I didn't update it, that, like, my program would stop working or something like that, which is really not cool. Like, the way that they were wording it just made it seem like you gotta update, and to update, you gotta pay us another $30. So I pay another $30. I've now paid $140 for this program, but that's not even the worst of it. Because in the midst of that, I had switched from Windows to Mac. If you switch, you can't use the same perpetual license on a different type of computer, a different type of, what do they call that? Like a processor. I don't know. I'm not tech savvy or anything like that. If you switch from Windows to iOS, you have to pay another $80. So what did I say? 140 plus like what? I'm about to do some bad math. Hold on. I have to use a calculator, you guys. I really can't. I can't do that in my head right now. I'm irritated. 140 plus 80. $220. $220. That is almost the cost of Final Cut Pro, which I was like, I'm not ever going to use Final Cut Pro because it's $300, right? I've now paid nearly $300 for this program that was initially $80 because they, for whatever reason, even with a perpetual license, you cannot use it switching from Windows to Mac, right? So I was annoyed. I'm like, okay, I guess I will switch from Windows to Mac. I have now updated it to Filmora 11, right? And then am I on 11? I think I was on 11. So I have paid at this point for 2 perpetual licenses and 3 upgrades that were $30 each time. And that's ridiculous. That is insane. But the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back was a recent update. All I did was update my Mac because 13's been out. They're on 14, right? 13's been out for a while. 12's been out for a while. By the time that I had to pay for 11, I was like, I refuse to pay for another update, right? That is ridiculous. I'm not using any of the features. They're not really even adding anything that's super different that I'm seeing. Like, they added AI features in 11. So what are these additional features that they're adding? What is all this extra stuff that they're doing? It's ridiculous. It seems like they're saying that they're adding a bunch of stuff, but it's just a bunch of nothing so that they can make you pay $30 every 6 to 8 months for a new update, right? I'm not doing that. So I've been on 11 for a while, and I have a perpetual license. Which means I should be able to use 11 forever, right? Forever. The straw, okay? I log in one day. I go to edit a video. It's actually the second video that I made this year. I turn on my computer. The day prior, I had updated my Mac, my computer, because I was noticing that a couple of my things were slow, and I was like, I've been putting off this update. I'm going to update my computer. Filmora does not open. It pulls up a big crash screen, and I'm like, that's suspicious. That's weird. Why is it doing that? It has this big error screen that I can't understand and don't know how to read. So I am like, okay, I will just uninstall and reinstall it. So I go to the website, specifically in the area where you can download an older version of the program, because I am privy to their BS right now. I know, because one time I clicked a button to update to 13 and I didn't see this was a tricky thing. So it was a jump from 11 to 13 because I wasn't using 12. And this was a tricky thing that I should now mention. I made a jump from 11 to 13 because I, for whatever reason, was of the belief that this was a free update because of the way that the thing was worded, and it didn't immediately force me into paying. So I had downloaded 13, edited my video, and then when I went to export, it told me that it would export with a watermark. So I was like, what? I have a Perpetual license. I should be able to export without a watermark because that's what my license means, right? Wrong. Because it updated me to 13, it was expecting me to try the program out, and then if I liked it, when I went to finish the video off, I could purchase 13. So you can download 13 for free, but if you want to export anything with a watermark or without a watermark, you have to pay for it. So I got super mad, and I figured out how to backtrack on their website to an older version of the program, and I went and I downloaded 11 or 12 or whichever it was that I was on by that point. I hope it wasn't 12, because if it was 12, that means it was 250 instead of 220. So I was really upset. So I went and I downloaded 11 that day. So now that I'm back to here, when I'm having to reinstall it, I'm like, okay, I know I need to go to this part of the website. I need to download 11 or 12 or whichever it was from here, and then it will download for me. And so it downloads, and I start using it, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. Maybe that's why it crashed, because it looks totally different. I must have done something weird when I updated my computer. Like, it must have updated Filmora, like, to fit with the new iOS or something. Wrong! The button on their website to download 11 or 12 or whichever it was brought me to 14. It brings you to a trial version of 14, even though it specifically says on their website to download 11 or 12. I'm just going to say 12 because as awful as that is to think about, that it was another $30 that I was stupid enough to pay for. The website for 12, to download 12, brings you to a trial version of 14, even though it says download Filmora 12. Right? I'm not stupid. I know what I'm reading. I'm specifically on the part of the website that says download an older version. I click the link 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 15 different times, right? I am double checking, triple checking. I'm like, I'm downloading 12. This says that it is 12, and it is downloading 14 every single time. The file name even says that it's 12 and brings up 14 every single time. So I message their customer support, which has been marginally unhelpful in the past. They will respond super, super late, will talk to you like you're stupid. It's very frustrating. So I get customer support on there, and I'm like, hey, your website directs to 14 when I'm trying to download 12. Can you please give me a link to 12? And he's like, oh my God, I'm sorry about that. Here's a link to 12. Make sure that you don't update it when you download it. Like, brother, do you think I'm stupid? I have been trying to download this program all morning. I would not be messaging customer support if I was dumb enough to keep clicking update every single time I try to download it, right? It is installing 14. Your website links to an install for 14, not for 12. This is not a me issue. This is a your website is sneaky issue, okay? So he gives me a link for 12. And I know that it's 12 because when I boot it up, it crashes. And I'm like, oh no, this is not happening. So I message him and I'm like, hey, I don't understand. When I boot up the software, it brings me to this crash screen. And I send him a picture and he tells me, what version of iOS are you on? And I'm like, no, don't pull this mess. He asks, what version of iOS are you on? I tell him I just updated it last night. I'm on the most up-to-date version. And he tells me, you either need to downgrade your iOS, which I had to upgrade because my stuff was slowing down and it was starting to get annoying, or you need to pay to upgrade to 14. I think this one was actually $40. For what feature? Nothing but AI. Every single one of them was an AI editing feature, which, as an artist, I already don't feel good about AI. I already don't like the fact that every single thing in the world has AI in it now, okay? I'm so glad that I have an iPhone 12 and not a 16, so I don't have to look at all the stupid little AI things on everybody's phones now. It's irritating. It is frustrating. I think it could have been a cool tool, but people used it bad, and now I'm soured over it. I can't stand it. So for me to pay $40 on a program that I have once again already paid $220 to $250 on, that should have just been initially $80. I am not going to spend $40 so it can be $10 short of freaking Final Cut Pro, which would work better on my computer anyway. I'm not going to do it. So I got super angry, and that is why the biggest portion of why I made this stupid video, because the amount of money that I spent on something that, and I'm going to say this again, it's a perpetual license. A perpetual license means you use it forever. It's what Final Cut Pro is. Final Cut Pro is $300. That's such a big amount, right? That's scary. Every single update they have ever released has been free. Every single one of them. All of them. I could download Final Cut Pro 10 years ago, right? I don't know if it was available 10 years ago, but if it was, I could have downloaded it then and had the most up-to-date version now for no additional money. But Filmora, every year, wants you to spend $30 to $40. It wants you to spend $70, $80 when you switch from one computer to another. What? No. Like, the amount of people I saw promoting this, and granted, I will give credit where credit is due. Filmora is a wonderful app to edit in. It is very comfortable. The UI is very nice to look at. It was super easy for me to learn the learning curve between VSDC and Filmora. It's really just as simple as dragging and dropping stuff, and I appreciate that. I love it so much. And I'm really sad that I have had to find an alternative for it, because it is a great program, but the people behind it are not so great. The amount of money that I have to keep spending over and over for something that I was under the impression that I would be able to buy once and then never have to buy again is insane. If you are telling people like, if I had bought it under the impression that, okay, it's an initial purchase of $70 and then it's a $30 annual renewal, then I wouldn't be mad, because that's I'm buying it under the knowledge, hey, every year I'm gonna have to spend another $30. Like Clip Studio. I'm not a big Clip Studio user, but I do have it because every once in a while people will come to me asking about PNG tubers, and Clip Studio has like a good layout for live 2D, apparently. I've only done like one or two with it, so I'm not super like heavily a user of it. But Clip Studio tells you, hey, every single year you're gonna get charged $20 again. Nintendo Online, $20 every single year, right? But you're of the knowledge that you are doing that. You are not being told, hey, you can buy Nintendo Online once for $20. That's forever. Perpetually, you can use Nintendo Online for $20, and then them being like, oh, we added like a feature, so now you have to pay us another $20. Oh, another feature a couple months later, another $20, please, so you can update, so you can have it up to date, please, another $20. No. you told me I'm going to have perpetual use of this program forever. If I was able to use 11 forever, and it would just like not be as great as the other versions, or if like I had the choice of paying later if I wanted to choose like use of some of those stupid AI features that they were doing, that's great. I was getting away with that for a while, but the fact that one update to my computer made it unusable when the day before it was usable, I'm not playing that game. I'm not playing that game. I will not be gassed into spending yet again another $40 on a program that I was told I should be able to use forever. It's so frustrating. You should just have older versions work with new software. You should update. That should be a free update because you're paying for a perpetual license. If you don't want people to be able to use all your new fancy features that you think you worked really hard on for free, fine. But the older versions should work perpetually, or you should at the very least do a patch update every once in a while so you can use older versions of the program. I don't think that is fair. Or if you're going to go that route, at the very least, don't call it a perpetual license. Say it is an initial purchase and then a renewable annual fee. Then it would not be such an entirely huge issue. I wouldn't be sitting here angry right now because I would know I'm going to have to spend $30 every year. But it's not like that. It's just every once in a while an update will come along and they will expect you to pay $30 to $40. And I think that is insane. So when this update came out, and I'm broke, by the way. I mean, it's like January. It was just the holidays. I can't afford to spend $40 on an editing program right now. That's ridiculous. Especially not one that I was already using the day before. Perfectly fine. That's insane. So, I started looking around for free alternatives. And I tried so many programs. I'm not dissing any of these programs that I'm about to mention because they just didn't work for me personally. For my limited knowledge of editing, I really like things to be as simple as possible. I was trying DaVinci, which people say really good things about. I don't understand it. I think it's really confusing, and also it was altering the colors of my footage, which I was not happy about. I would drag and drop something and it was changing the colors. That was crazy. I tried a trial version of Final Cut Pro, and it is confusing. The UI is not very beginner friendly. I'm sure if I sat down for a really long time, I would eventually understand it, but I didn't like it. It was frustrating. I tried, was it OpenShot that crashed immediately? There was like Shotcut or OpenShot or something like that. There's a lot of like free editing programs with very similar naming, but one of them I downloaded, and then as soon as I dropped all my footage in, it immediately crashed. Like it just shut down, and I was like, oh, okay, because that was one of my final ones that I was trying out for the day, and I was about to crash out. But it turns out the program crashed out first. So it did that, and I was at my wit's end, and then I tried CapCut on the desktop. First of all, the TikTok ban, everything with that, I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. I don't like that it was only down for less than 24 hours and then had super questionable messaging in the beginning of like the opening app and stuff like that. I don't like the supposed censorship that's going down on TikTok. It feels really weird to use as a platform, and the only reason that I mention it is because they took CapCut down with it, which so upset me because this happened, me finding CapCut happened a couple of days before the TikTok ban. So when CapCut went down, I was like, no, I am not there. No, this is just another gaslighting attempt for the universe to make me spend money on Filmora, and I can't do it. And then I checked today, and it's back. They gave us CapCut back, thank God. Because CapCut is free Filmora. I'm not kidding. It is nearly the exact same. There's a couple of differences in UI, but I immediately learned the differences. In fact, some of the changes I like better than the way that it's introduced in Filmora, and it's free. And hear me out, no watermark, even without Pro, because with the free version, you get 8 uses of no watermark on a video. 8 free uses. I only make 1 video a week, right? Therefore, I only need 4 uses of that Pro feature a month. So I don't have to spend any money on CapCut at all for it to be exactly like Filmora. So I spent, God knows the exact dollar amount, but I'm guesstimating $250, because sometimes those updates were like $29.99, sometimes they were like $35.99, $39.99. So I'm just guessing minimum $220, but it could be more. And I don't like that it could be more. Probably actually $250 because I'm pretty sure it actually was $12. So I spent $250 on something that the whole time, I could have been using something free. And I'm about to tear my hair out. $250. $250 that I will never get back. And just, again, like the experience with customer service and the confusion with my licensing and having to make all these updates and like all this stuff. Their customer service, whack. Their customer service is whack. The overall way they do things, whack. I don't like it. So if any of you have heard me in the past say, oh, I love Filmora, it's great for editing, it's great. Yes, that is true. But CapCut does the same thing for no money. So download CapCut. I'm so serious. And if they take it away again, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, I don't think I can handle another full entire day, because when this happened, I spent the full entire day trying out so many editing programs, going through so many Reddit forums and watching so many YouTube tutorials on so many different editing programs, desperately trying to find something that will work as an alternative. And CapCut is so perfect. If it goes away again, you guys might not get a video for a while, which will really frustrate me, because I want to be consistent this year, and I have so far, despite Filmora testing me. Okay, so I really like CapCut. I will tentatively give it my recommendation, because it works just as well. It works just as well for no money, and I think that's great. I think that's awesome. Again, I would have recommended Filmora in the past, but just the way that they do things with these updates is what really frustrated me. If they, and I'm going to repeat myself, if they had just said, this is an initial purchase and you will have an annual fee, great. I can prepare myself for that. I can be readily aware of that when I'm making my initial purchase, if that's something that I want to do. But because they don't advertise it, that's not something you're ready for. Just out of the blue, they'll be like, oh, we upgrade, we're on a new version, pay us more money. No, I will not. That was the last time I spent any money on Filmora, and I highly recommend that none of you do as well, because that's insane. If CapCut goes down, I don't know, man. But for now, that is it for this video, you guys. I hope you liked the background mess. It was just a 3-marker challenge with acrylic paint pens, because I like using them lately. I've been trying a lot of them out for the TikTok shop, because I keep having brands send me acrylic markers, and they're like, do you want to try our thing? And I'm like, yeah, I want to try your thing. Send it my way. I love marker. I love color. I love doodle. So yeah, I wanted something just kind of simple and easy in the background, so I wouldn't have to stress too much, and I could just yap about this thing that's been really frustrating me. I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons, because they are honestly the reason that I can afford to make those stupid, frustrating purchases in the first place. So if you want to support me and my channel and my brokenness, it's patreon.com/6studios. I'm doing a lot of fun things on there this year. There's a theme for the Patreon. It's based on the Chinese zodiac. If you didn't see my last video, yes, of the making of January's rewards, I highly recommend you go get that. You have a few days left to join the Patreon. If you like them, you have until January 31st to join the either matcha or chamomile tier, and you will get those rewards in the mail. I highly recommend the chamomile tier, because I just did the math on it earlier this month and realized that tier is worth over $60, and it's only $30, and you get a free commission. You get major discounts on commissions outside of that one. On the shop, you get all of the January rewards. You get a physical version of your monthly commission. It's a cool tier. I like it. But I recommend the matcha tier as well, if you just want to have some little surprise goody goods in the mail. Anyways, that's enough yapping about that. Of course, I appreciate all of you sitting here and watching this video as well, especially if you are still listening almost 30 minutes into me yapping your faces off. I really appreciate that. Thanks for liking the video. If you did you like the video? Like the video. You're supposed to do that. It really helps. Thanks. And subscribe too. Like, if I'm serious, if you're like 29 minutes and 55 seconds in, and well, actually, there's an intro quip. If you're 30 minutes and 10 seconds into this video, like, subscribe, please. Clearly you like listening to me talk. Anyways, that is it for this video, you guys. Hopefully next month and next week's video will be not so angry, rant fueled. Don't fall into this nonsense. Don't fall into their trap, okay? Come with me to CapCut. I love you. See you guys in the next one. Bye.